American didn't find his way to a trunk of a ship, in the trunk of a ship. And I played that song for two reasons. One, because of the cool meme. We have taken ourselves out of the loop so bad that the people that you say owe you is telling you, you owe us. And this is all because we refuse. We refuse to be who we are. We refuse. I'm not doing it. I want to play you this clip real quick of your boy Don Lemon. This is one of your scholars. This is one of the guys who has a nice job and makes a lot of money, and he dresses nice and he hang around other people. And many of you, he's a savior. Because anything they show you on TV, anything they teach to you in these schools that have fucked your minds up, you believe. So I'm gonna play this little clip of what this chick told him. This is what he didn't look like this when she said it, but it was damn near this. You know how when a Negro gets checked and he don't know what to do or say or what expression to have on his face? Check this out. Check this out.
Wondering, $100 billion, $24 billion here and there, 500 million there. Some people want to be paid back, and members of the public are wondering, why are we suffering when you are, you have all of this vast wealth? Those are legitimate concerns.
Well, I think you're right about reparations in terms of if people want it, though, what they need to do is you always need to go back to the beginning of a supply chain. Where was the beginning of the supply chain? That was in Africa, and across the entire world, when slavery was taking place, which was the first nation in the world that abolished slavery? The first nation in the world to abolish it. It was started by William Wilberforce, was the British. In Great Britain, they abolished slavery. 2,000 naval men died on the high seas trying to stop slavery.
2,000.
Why? Because the African kings were rounding up their own people. They had them on cages waiting in the beaches. No one was running into Africa to get them. And I think you're
look at his face. Look at Don Lemon's face. He's like, yeah, you can, like, come on. You can see it right there. Let's play it again. You can see the difference. You can see the difference. All right, I'm going to play it again. Watch.
The African kings were rounding up their own people. They had them on cages waiting in the beaches. No one was running into Africa to get them. And I think you're totally right. If reparations need to be paid, we need to go right back to the beginning of that supply chain and say, who was rounding up their own people and having them handcuffed in cages?
Okay.
So this is going to be, it don't matter if you, all that shit that we talk about that don't matter, that don't have to do nothing. You better understand what's happening to you. So they've taken you on this African ride for at least the past 100 years. And you jumped out and said your mamas and daddies are African. That's where your lineage is from. You believe everything they've shoved down your throat, you swallowed. You've taught your children that. You've taught everybody who would listen this African stuff. And the story, they can change the narrative to what they want it to be. And when they change it to that, guess what you're going to do? You're going to do what they say, because that's what you do. That's what he trained you to be. You understand what's happening now? You begging for reparation. Now, I got this off one of these right-wing stations. So when they talk about you, they have total disgust for the African-American Negro. So this is where I got this from. So this is, and they were putting it up as being funny. This is how they talk about you all the time. Everybody, I mean, if you go to other stations, listen to other cultures, because you're going to come up because it's all about you. You're always going to come up. You're always going to come up. You're not going to be in nobody else's conversation because everybody looks to you. But you look to somebody else and you wait for other people to tell you what you are. So the lady said it was the African kings that put you in cages like monkeys, left you on the beach and sold you on the beach. That's the narrative that they're saying now. All you Negroes that's pushing this African stuff, what's your move? You stay over there. This is how they do you. This is the story you pump amongst each other. Don't they have a movie out called The Woman King? Oh! You don't think they're going to play that in it? The whole job is for you to be gone, Negro. Obliterated. Off the planet. Guess who does the most work? Guess who's the one that makes sure it happens? You. You always repeating dumbass stories and following dumb stories that damn all you have to do is ask. Look, just question it. You won't even do that. So I wanted to share that with you. Is still begging for reparations. You think when they all, I think this was put out yesterday. You don't think when they all start getting that, that's going to be a nice comfort for them to come back to you with? So that's what I want to bring up. We got something else for you, Lisa. Yours. Unmute your mic.
It is. Okay. Yeah. So what's the thing about Don Lemon and all this and everybody being like, look, your reparations need to come from where you come from. All right. And I don't know who no one is. Who's no one that's talking about she's not Indian, baby? Look, I don't got to prove nothing to you because my stuff is very evident. Okay. Like, don't nobody got genealogy like I got. So just go sit down and check yourself. But basically, there's a lot of, there's a lot of folks that's going to be telling these African Americans to go to Africa for your reparations. Right? Why are we always begging? Why are we begging the new king of daggone England? Why are we begging? See, the thing is our mindset's wrong. Like the doggy tried to tell you, you don't need to be begging. Don't beg, okay? He's sitting at the table looking pretty. He don't have to beg. You don't have to beg. We don't have to beg. It's not necessary to beg when you've got receipts. It's not necessary to beg when you've got records. It's not necessary to beg when you've got facts. It's not necessary to beg when you know what you know, what you know, what you know, and you know who you are. Like, I ain't got time to argue with a bunch of damn fiends and crazy people. Because guess what? There ain't nothing, I don't need to. Boo-boo. My ancestors got it set up. I ain't got a bet fight with you over who I am. Maybe you should be trying to figure out who the hell you are, no one. Calling yourself no one. That's the thing. Wasting time with people that aren't worth your time. That's not worth it. My time is focused on going for the throats of these people that are trying to take what's mine. Okay? Legally. That's what my focus and what your focus should be. Individually fighting for who you are and what you are, not playing games with a bunch of people who are trying to distract you, because these people are paid agents. They're in these chats to distract you from what you are and what you should be doing. I ain't got time for that, and neither should anyone else. These fake YouTubers that are doing fake things, these fake people that are having you go on fake wild goose chases, it's not worth your time. Let me explain what's real. Okay. How you represent yourself. Let me go ahead and let's go to what's real. Let me share the screen. So I ain't got that set up yet. Okay, so let me share the windows. Okay, so we're gonna share representing my windows, right? All right. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay, shoot. Okay. All right, so we're sharing. All right, we'll hide that. All right. So basically, you can share, Massachusetts has a great website that shows you step by step how you can represent yourself. Okay. I don't know. Is that sharing, y'all? Is not sharing yet?
You are now.
It is. Might have a delay. Okay. Yeah. So Massachusetts has a great. It shows you even the whole step of filing.
Could you blow up your screen on your side?
Like make it bigger a little bit.
Yeah. If you can, or maybe I have to blow up my screen. Yeah, I blew up my screen. Okay. Yeah. You have the floor.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, this is where I'm going to be. It's not where it's supposed to be. I don't know what that is. That's not the screen. Let me go down. Let me, I don't know why that thing is showing. So it's opening up a new screen instead of going there, which is weird. It's because it's on a Yahoo thing. That's why. It's just, it's not doing what I wanted to do. Okay, let's see if it does it now. Is it sharing it now? Not yet. I'm not sure why. Why isn't it sharing what I need to share? All right, so maybe I need to go back to the.
What happened to the screen?
I'm not sure why it's not sharing, but this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go back to sharing the screen. And go select the entire screen. That's what I'm gonna do. Oh, also, let me share it another way. Let me also share it and share the audio system too. All right, so I'm sorry about that because I know you hate that. But anyway, let's see if that clears up. Okay, there it goes. Okay, so that's it. So United States Court of Justice, the District Courts of the District of Massachusetts, United States District Court for the District, they have a really good website which tells you how to actually pro se represent yourself, which means representing yourself. Only an individual. So if anybody says to you, I am going to court for the ACMAX to sue the United States or sue for, I cannot do that. It is not possible for a group to actually to go to court to represent themselves. Okay, I cannot go as ACAMAX to go represent ourselves or any other so-called group that might begin with a W. Nobody can go do that. That's not a possibility. Pro se means representing yourself as an individual. It does not mean a group. You can't do it. So if anybody says they're doing it, they're full of it. They're just full of it. All right. And this actually goes to the whole steps of how to file. It's a really good website. Actually, I wish I had seen this when I was getting ready. I mean, I had the help of Amani Bay. Thank you, Amani. But the reality is, this is a really good website, which I wish I had to got, as a reference. I went out and bought several, books, textbooks, and legal books and things like that as well. But this is actually Massachusetts. See, Virginia ain't going. They do have a guide for pro se people. I'm not going to say they don't, but their website is not as informative and direct as this website is. Very good. Anyway, so like I said, it tells you how to file. Blah 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 blah. Review of your complaint. That's the thing. When you're going to get something done, you never just file and like, oh yeah, it's decided, we won. Like that's not real either. Okay. If anybody says they're doing that kind of stuff, that also is fraud. That is fake. That's fantasy. That's just for your views. Okay. And it's also, let's not be gullible, y'all. Let's not be gullible. Let's not go in and follow these people just like mindlessly. We cannot fall for that again. That's how we lost everything, is because people pretended to be us. People pretended to be in it with us. Oh, we on your side. We ain't for their side. We for you. We look alike. They try to pretend to be us. They try to pretend to be one of us, and they're not. Okay, and they're not. If you want to find out if something's real, there is a thing you can join. It's called Pacer. You can look up any friggin' court case you want to. You can do a query. You can look for things. Okay, like if you want to look for Waya, no information found. You want to look for any kind of case, you can look for it. You want to look for Cyprus, see if I really have a court case. It's a lot of Cypresses doing stuff, and there has been, but oh, here I am. There I am. Yeah, that would be that. And then you want to see what documents I filed. Run a query. And yes, last time things were filed was from PNC back in September 6th. A whole lot of documents, 53 to be exact. Okay, been happening since what date? 7/7/21. Okay. That's real shit. I'm just saying, stop, all this stuff about people, people can call you fake. People can call you whatever, but the real deal is, do you have evidence? Do you have proof? Do you have the genealogy? Do you have the evidence? Do you have the records? Do you have the proof? You can say anything. But stop believing everything that everybody got to say to you. That's ridiculous. That's how they're able to miseducate us to this very day. That's why they're able to miseducate us, because whatever anybody says to us, show us a video, get some people on a panel, we believe it. But we have to stop doing this, like for real. Like we really just have to stop.
What is the confusion that causes?
Well, the reality that the purpose of it is to keep us from doing the things that are going to get us this country back and get us our rights and get us our land back and our wealth back. That's the end game. The end game is to deter you from that. And as long as you're following the leader on people that are not you, and people who are not for you, and people who are there to, you know, distract you and get you to do things that are going to lead you down the wrong path. See, the only right path is really the path that's going to give you and your descendants back what you've lost in the way of rights, freedom, and property. That's the only thing that counts. I mean, you have the right to self-identify. Nobody got to sit up there and fight for you to be an American Indian. That's ridiculous. First of all, who are they? How is that going to be determined anyway? Because half these people are foreigners.
Check.
So what you're fighting for is to let these foreigners call themselves American Indian. Don't be fooled by these games that people are playing. And also what you need to understand is the people that are doing this stuff, they're the ones that are going to be winning because they're leading you like a little slave. You know, they're the overseers, right? So who gets the trinkets that the globalists are handing out? The people that lead you to the well, right? They lead you to the well and they get rewarded for it. Because they're doing their job. They're deterring you from actually saying, hey, this is who I am for real. I descend from this person. This is my real lineage, and this is my real land. And stop acting like it's yours. And you pretended to be me. You took my identity. And that whole Revolutionary War, that was a war where you took everything. That was a war when you burnt and destroyed all the evidence of all the great things that I did. Let the truth be known. The things that we should be doing is really getting our families together so that and the people that are our kin, the other people that are connected to the same kinfolk, the same nation. Get your nation in order. Because if you get your nation in order, then the nations can come together and say, wait a minute. But forming these little social groups and these fake nations, you cannot really claim what's yours that way. They're detracting you from claiming what's yours. Because now you're part of this other group, and we don't even know what this other group is going to be feeding to, is what their purpose is. And the odds are these groups could be telling the government that they hate this and they hate that. Next thing you know, you done got yourself linked in with a hate group, unbeknownst to you. And then, sir, you can't even file nothing, not pro se or any other way, because you are a criminal. You put yourself in the line of fire.
And that's what most of these groups, all these cats telling you this stuff, this is what they're doing. The whatever tribe, they come up with tribe names and we just fall for it. I'm not saying you guys that are listening now, but I'm like, you seeing it.
Because
doing nothing but confusing. Just doing nothing but confusing. Just confusing. And all that does is put you to the back of the line and let these immigrants coming over now get in front of you. But you did it. Just not thinking in your best interest. That's where we at.
Yep. And we're handing over our genealogy to people who say they'll do genealogy for free.
For real?
Ain't nothing free, baby. These people are getting your information. Do you understand that a land patent can be assigned over to someone and then they have it forever? What you have forever, you are signing it over to someone else to have forever, and you can't get it back. Sorry, not sorry. You're giving it over to foreign entities so that they forever have a land patent that was yours, because you don't know what you're doing, because you don't know who you are or what you have. You're too busy following all these people that's having you all confused. You have the right to self-identify. You don't need nobody to tell you an Indian. You just say you're an Indian. You have the right to create your own affidavit and declare who you are and send it to the appropriate government agencies. You have that right. You have the ANDRIP, you have the right. Nobody has to go and make any fake court appearance on your behalf. You ain't helping me, boo-boo. Stop showboating fake stuff. Stop it. We're smarter than that. And it's insulting that you think you can daggone play these shuck and jive games with us, and we're going to fall for that because we're more intelligent than that. See, it is really insulting for me that people immigrate here and think they're going to outsmart us. I find that infuriating. How dare you act like you're me? How dare you try to tell us what to do? How dare you tell us who we are and try to take our genealogy? What are you doing? Stop it.
And you know what pisses me off even more than that? These dumb Nias that's with it. I mean, have you seen how these cats been falling out over that Woman King thing? I have to tell my niece, I'm like, this is how your mind is taken. This is how they dog you out. I'm like, do you think they was talking English in Africa at that time? So you're like, no. And I'm like, it'll be some Negroes that'll cuss you out and say that did happen. This is how they get you. Make believe. And we just all down their throat with it. That's why we lose. Keep looking out for that Don Lemon story, y'all. That lady saying that Africa owes Europe reparations. Because everything that you've been saying, all they're taking is what you're saying, what you've been told, and using it against you. That's what's happening. The people that you listen to that tell you all this bullshit, they're not even smart enough to figure that out. So how are you going to get smarter than that? See, we done bought. Africa's fleeing their country, coming over here to get on top of you. Why? Because they people don't want them. Their mother's being raped and they're running over here. And you say those are your people. Get them and go back home. That's what I'm saying. You don't even claim the land your grandmama walk on. What kind of hoe are you? No, I'm serious. I mean, seriously. We really, especially the brothers. Cuz, really? And they're not the ones that piss me off so much. It's the people who follow them, who support them, who make these cats preachers. Those type dudes. I don't call them, I don't think none of them are good, but how they get people with bullshit and milk them of their money, like that pimp whole relationship. You know, like, dude, really? Just for money, just so you can buy stuff other people make. That's what the Negroes into, the still begging. I want reparation, you dog. They're going to turn that around on your ass. They already have. What's the next plan? It's going to be something dumb. It's going to be something dumb. So this is where they're taking your kids now. Your girls are being boys. Your boys are being girls. They got some plan for you, Negro. They don't want you to populate the earth no more. They don't want to have no babies no more. They don't want you to have no babies no more. What's the quickest way to make that happen? Turn the boys on the boys, turn the girls on the girls. Isn't that what the Woman King is about? All the women taking on men roles? The Negro would make that movie $100 million over the weekend, right or wrong. This is where they taking you. So have a nice trip. But I'm not with that.
Hawkeye said, check out this South African girl online talking about we make blacks look bad. How dare somebody from South Africa say anything derogatory? Man, we daggone supported, fought for, sang songs, marched, freaking boycotted for daggone South Africa big time. And your ass get your head above water and the first thing you got to do is talk about us? Really? Really?
Man, you better stop. That's the woman that's the mother of all civilization.
The fact that you call it the motherland, and then they're going to come back and tell you, and then these daggone good Caucasians going to come back and tell you, go send your bill to the motherland for whatever you think you're owed because they sold your asses. And they wrote a check to those countries, so those countries are going to daggone accept the daggone fake scenario. They already are in line. They got paid to say, yeah, we sold y'all. That's how y'all got there. And you are the one promoting this story in your own land that you came from somewhere else, even though it's just directly contradicts what your family told you. And it also directly contradicts your phenotype and everything about you, your music, your food, your language, everything about you ain't African. And yet you claiming yourself to be a daggone Kunta Kinte. And then you're going to get mad when they say, get it from your African folk. When they say, when you talk about, please come on, sir. When you got all them big old riches over in Britain and England, can't you give us some, please, sir? Can't you give us some reparation, please? Please, huh? Begging. No, because that's what these boule people, these boule overseers teach us to do. Just keep on begging. Keep on begging. And maybe one day you'll get a seat at the table. Keep on begging. Vote and beg. Vote and beg. Vote and beg. Maybe you'll get a seat. Y'all got Kamala in there. You're so raw. You're so raw, right? She's in office. What's she doing for y'all? You got a daggone Kenyan in office. What he do for y'all? What did all this voting and stuff do for you? What has all this begging done for you? Why are we continuing to beg when what we need to do is stand on our own 2 feet and do our research and get what is rightfully ours? Begging is not a part of this whole deal. Claiming what's yours is part of what you should be doing. But if you're so busy following behind these distractors and these daggone foreigners, you don't have time to research and claim what's yours. And that's what they want you to do, because, baby, every minute they changing the freaking story. Look, let me hear. Here is, let me see my thing. Here is Eastern Shore Indians of Virginia and Maryland, written by Miss Dr. Helen Roundtree, the present day Plecker, right? On the back of this edition of it is some really nice quotes. One of them, which is very, very, very telling. Very, very, very interesting. It says, it's a quote of the American Indian Quarterly. This book was written in 1996. Eastern Shore Indians makes a long overdue statement on Indianness and race and the process through which Indians in Virginia and Maryland were categorized and controlled by white society. The movement from Indian to non-white to free colored to Negro is a history that has only begun to be told. American Indian Quarterly. This quote is fire. One of my ACAMAC kin found this, Thomas, right? Amazing. I've had this book for years. I never really noticed that. But then I have several copies of this book. More recent copy of it, same book. Let me put that. Same book. Right? Same book. But you flip it, the back is totally different. All right. Let me, the back is totally different. And as a matter of fact, I can actually hold them both up because I got both copies here. Both copies. One is more, white and doesn't have the background of the tree next to it, right? They've changed the back, right? So that quote is no longer on the back, along with the other different reviews and stuff. That American Indian Quarterly thing ain't there no more. They change what they write. They're doing it every day. And they're writing new books to try to write you out of being who you are on your land. And they're getting rid of documents. So this is the thing. You sitting up there running around worried about, I'm gonna, sign this or do this or find out or watch this. You're not doing what your information is being lost. I have been compiling information for 30 years, okay, of genealogy. They're changing stuff. They're getting rid of your information. You should be focused. You shouldn't be all over the place begging. We got to stop begging. Our inheritance is there. We have an inheritance. We can stand with your head up and you don't have to beg. We don't have to beg. We don't have to argue with anybody about who we are.
Because they already know.
You could have kept no one in the chat. No one is no one. Let me tell you, they can't change who you are. They can't change the truth of your genealogy. And it can't irritate you when you're on your square. What am I going to get upset about? No one. No one ain't going to irritate me because I'm on my square, boo. Can't nobody shake this. Do you think PNC is arguing that I'm not who I am? Do you think that, more importantly, do you think the county did? No, because they know who we are. And I have enormous amount of records and proof, birth certificates, death, marriage, everything. It's not a question of who we are. It's a question of what you're going to do about it. And
so people like that, no one, like she said, they're just They just come to start confusion. But I got rid of them because, I'm just tired of dumb motherfuckers like that. Talking about something, beat it. You taking up space and time. Because you got to know by now. What's that? Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. If you don't know me by now, you will never. They know who you are. That's why all this shenanigans is going around. That's why they can play with it. Now you're going to have to go to Africa to get your reparations. How come your mommy and daddy not giving you your reparations? How come your brothers and sisters coming over here saying that you have the nerve to call yourself black? You not us. So this is what you have now, and it's all to bring confusion. They told you the pandemic was over. So what you think about that one, Lisa?
Oh, the pandemic.
What Biden said it's over.
Oh, he did. He said that.
Yeah. He said it's over.
Oh, it's official. So really, he gets to say what when it ends and everything.
No,
really?
No. That's what people listen to. I mean,
right.
It was over for me when they said it was on. It
was over from the beginning. See,
right.
It's the thing. I mean, we need to stop, first of all, allowing people to tell us what reality is. We need to stop listening to these people. We need to encourage our family to stop listening to these people. We need to have a little more trust in each other and trust in nature, okay? Because nature is going to have a natural sequence of events. It's not going to be just like, boom, all of a sudden there's a pandemic. It's going to be an uptick in all these, pneumonias that people can't shake. It would have shown signs and symptoms that we would have seen in the healthcare field, the ones that are really out there day to day dealing with people on ventilators. So this is the thing. When your politicians know what's happening in the hospitals before the hospital people do, beware. Because there's no way a politician knows jack. Okay, because they're just a bunch of WWE actors. They're like a bunch of daggone wrestlers. They're only here for a show. They shucking and jiving for your daggone votes. That's all we're dealing with. We have to understand. We need to be real about things. We need to start really just filtering out the things that we need not be concerned with. We need to start filtering it out. We need to start being focused on our families, focus on ourselves, and focusing on our win, our victory, our heritage, our inheritance. We got to focus on us. And ain't nobody going to get what we got for us except us. Nobody's going to be like, here, whatever you like. Nobody's going to hand this stuff to you. Nobody's going to be like, give it on up to you. Everybody's coming in to your country. They letting every country, anybody, any scallywag come in here and win on your dime, literally. And we are okay with it. We act like we don't see it. We act like we don't see all these freaking people sitting up in jobs. There was a thing, I don't know if I think I have it on my screen, but, bunch of daggone immigrants complaining that they were being underpaid. What the world? Go back where you came from. It's very simple. If you don't like what's happening to you here, you got a home. You got a home. This is our home. We want it all going back to us. We want it back. We're tired of you all sucking us dry and sucking the planet dry. We're tired of it. And the only way we're going to get what's ours back is by paying attention, doing the research, collecting the data, and go and claiming it. You got to claim it.
So Hawkeye says we have to create our own jobs. And Lisa, you were saying something earlier about how nature sets out, nature works for you. We haven't been connected to nature for a long time. We've been walking on these concrete jungles and it's been wearing us out. Now you're seeing everything is about to change. Like she brought up, you're being overran with immigrants. The places that your parents come from, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, depending on how old you are, those places are still there. You could easily set up a sewer system in some of these cities that are already there. You're being gentrified in these cities big time. And it never hits us to just go back and start building on where you're from. These cities all of them are toxic. These pipes have been put under all these cities years ago, 100, 200 years ago, and they're iron pipes. You think Jackson is the only place? You think Flint is the only place? We nothing in our head. Nothing in our head. I'm talking about all y'all who got all this money and driving Bentleys and all these things that you would never thinking about making. You got all these towns with your name on it. You're being gentrified in the cities where you come from. You have a chance to build, show your children to build something, and we not with it.
And not even that. It's just like even if you don't want to live with nature, even if you don't want to live.
I'm not saying it has to be in nature. I'm just saying you have talent. You can make it whatever you want to make it.
You can make it whatever you want to make it. You can make, because we lived all kinds of ways. We've always done that. There've always been people that might want to live in them backwoods and kind of live, closer. They don't want to be no parts of them town or all that kind of busyness or all that. There's always been that. But then there's always been people who want to be all like with the latest devices and invent things and, want to know what's the latest thing on the planet. They want, that there's always been, we've always had different ways of living. So that can always and will always exist.
Right.
But the reality is we got to get back to, first of all, being on point and trusting each other and understand our connectiveness and understanding. And also, really, we need to be better at deciphering who's you and who's not you.
Right.
Feel the energy. We are different. The fact that we sit there and say, well, why would they do that? Well, why would they want to do that? Why? That whole thing that we do, that's how we got in trouble, because we couldn't conceive of these black people, Europeans, or anybody else coming here and wanting to just take our land. Why would they do that? And keep it? No. How? Why? We attribute our good nature and character to others. And that is problematic. Why would they lie and say that they found something or did something and they didn't do it? Because they're criminals. Because they are the thugs of the universe. Because they are trash. That's why. Our souls are not trash. We're the soul people. We care about others. We don't want to kill other people and take their stuff. We don't want to go over to their land and take their land. That's why we're still here. They come over here and gulp up all your food, take up all your blankets, take your daggone clothes, walk around in your shoes, wear your stuff out, and then say, where's the rest of the stuff? That's not us. We're not like that. We couldn't conceive of going somewhere and taking everybody's stuff and wearing their stuff out and robbing them for everything they got. We would never do that. And then try to strategically make sure they can't get nothing back. We got people who took our stuff and work daily to make sure we don't get nothing back. Not an inch.
Nothing.
Not an inch. And they proud of it. I've been here 6 generations. That's what I was told when I was on the plantation the other week. 6 generations. I said, are you aware that the original people of your last name heir were melanated? Not Caucasian, not white, but Black Europeans. It's documented that they are free Negroes. Well, I know one thing, been here for 6 generations. That's long enough. And whatever jungles we were jumping in and out of before that, I have no idea. That's what they tell you. That's how they think. They hold on and they are not letting go. However they got it, whoever they are. The fact that they still will fly a British flag with pride, but occupy your Indian land and don't even mention that is what it is. See, that's what we are living with. People who think that way. But until we have these conversations, they're not gonna, first of all, they're not gonna respect us. Because as long as we got these daggone dum-dums walking around saying, I'm Black African American. Yeah, I know I come from Africa, but I don't have no evidence. As long as we got these folks running around ranting that they are tri-colored. I'm a tri-colored Native American. Those other ones, those pygmy Indians that claim that they are also mixed with African, though they cannot find that African, define that African. As long as we have all these other people making all these false statements, they're gonna continue to say, yeah, we got our land all secured. Our treasures are not going to be affected because these daggone ignorant Negroes, Blacks, African Americans, whatever you want to call them, haven't got a clue. And even when they have got a clue, they don't know, they don't do not a doggone thing about it. They don't do a thing about it. They don't even talk to us about it. They just talk amongst themselves like we train them to do. Just talk amongst yourselves, colored folk.
And one of the things that you're going to have to understand, and this is very important, you see how this indigenous talk has came up and it's, I mean, everybody knows it. The only people who's not getting it is us, like we should. Many people are waking up to the fact of it, but most of us, we still on that other side. And you seeing what they're putting out, the kind of propaganda they're putting out to do you in. You got to teach your kids that. The children have to know that because they're coming up and taking your place. And if you don't tell them shit, if you don't teach them nothing, they're going to be just where you are now. They're not going to. Go ahead, Lise.
We're dealing with people that will reach for a lie first. The first thing they're going to do is reach for a lie. And the second thing they're going to do is do everything to promote it so you believe it's the truth. That's what they're doing. That's what they do. They publish books to daggone keep everything like they have. That's why this book exists. This is my ancestor and many other Indians' ancestor. This man is in court records as an Indian. But yet they wrote a whole book to say that this one came from England. Why? Because the European Caucasians that stole that land want to try to secure their bag. So they make up fictitious history. They make up fictitious history to support their theft. Come on, y'all. We ain't got time to be doing dumb stuff when they're manufacturing history right before our eyes. We ain't got time to be wasting doing that, fooling each other with dumb things that they ain't gonna get you nowhere. Okay, so here's the episode of when I went to Air Hall. Now let me tell you, when I went to this plantation, my big mama grew up here, and my big mama, this name right here, this Bagwell, she's a Bagwell. My big mama was a Bagwell. Okay, they know this. Bagwell is in this new book that they wrote about the plantation. I have it upstairs. It's big. I didn't bring it downstairs. I ain't going to go get it. But anyway, it's a big book, costs $89. They wrote it about the history of this plantation because they want to celebrate the fact that this historical home has existed since the 1754. They want to celebrate this, and they want it to be relished that they still have the china, they still have the silver, they still have the porcelain, they still have the wallpaper. But you know what they don't have? They don't have the first 3 pages of the damn Bible that tells the real names of the people that actually lived there. That's missing, okay? See, that's how you know that fraud surrounds us. How you gonna have the wallpaper, the china? Y'all know how much you drop daggone. Y'all got dollar store daggone cups that you break, okay, all the time. They got porcelain and china from the 1700s, but they don't got the first 3 pages of their family Bible, which they never cracked open anyway for nothing but a birth. These people are not even the people that built the damn house. They're liars and frauds. These people were not even there. That's what you need to be fighting. That's what we need to be focused on. We need to be focused on taking these people and taking off the veil. Remove that veil. Remove that daggone white hood. We want to see you. We want to tell you, we want to tell you what we know about you. Since you don't got no real, truthful story about yourself, we got your story. We got it. And we're going to tell you about it. And we're tired of you telling us about us because we want to take a crucial, critical look at you and this fake history. That's what we want to look at. That's what we need to start doing. We need to be focused on that. And when you see all these other, Sambos coming out with all these daggone, these lit videos, when people are doing real shit, you understand that they're trying to distract from the real. They don't want the real to happen, and they're working as agents. And that's why they're doing what they're doing. They're giving you a little dance, little song and dance, trying to distract you from you being focused on what we all should be focused on. Let me share this real quick.
Can you blow it up some more? Full screen? Yeah, you go.
The heritage here in Air Hall, I say that, the history and this whole event, the soil, this is Indian land. And most universities all across the country and world seat at the piano and sit in Farrow, Virginia, big backwell house. Was it in? My grandfather was in. All of my grandparents from the Eastern Shore area were all Indians. They're not up. And to call us African is disrespectful. It's a genocide. She grew up here. She said she was all my life here. She laid me down. My mother worked on the berries and sprayed instruments on the berries that ran out of the backward of the shore. She brought joy and had fun and had events. And from the individual house on all eyes. Make sure we know our heritage and where we came from. Area Hall is an academic. This is a land. This is the main building to the academic. To not mention that is an atrocity. How do you not mention this soil, this property, this academic property? How do you miss this bad that the slave quarters are on waterfront property? Who has slave quarters on waterfront property? Indians were always here. People just made it to go over. The transfer of land is very sketchy. That's why the people remain on the waterfront. The people remain on the waterfront because this property has always been indigenous. That this land, North Eastern Shore has always been filled with the original people. The original people are still here. When I have a legal case I had, you just keep finding out more things that are what the deeds that are fraudulent and counting. And you learn about those exceptions, which those in history that were passed back and forth, passed again. We cannot have a history in this world. We have to start telling the exact truth. When you have a people where the person that I am saying for land work, she's not only my very much, also my cousin 3 times over. But my mother's father. That kind of relationship, has that kind of relationship in their genealogy. You are really truly indigenous people when you do this. And in the future, when I all people, a lot of people are historical leaders and historical society, I urge you to start inserting truth and justice in what you teach and what you promote. This propaganda and lies end. We have to start being honest about what's really going on and happening. That the world is negation with what's going on around the world. We can't live here and looking at the beautiful little ladies in the house. Just read these trees on the property. Oh, I will. Give me these out true. These are true. And the indigenous people are still here, and they're still oppressed, and they're still being stolen, and the people are still alive. And this is all those stop. Thank you.
So what the lady say?
She said, write your own book after I said they were lynching trees. She said, that's what she said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but it's really interesting because like that event was $175 per person. It was trash. They for $175 per person, it started from 9:30, it went to 4:30 or 5. And they didn't have coffee. They didn't have hot water and tea bags. They didn't have bottled water for the people. They had 2 construction trailers for them to go to bathroom in, and they had no hand sanitizer or water for them to wash their hands. It was disgusting. But the $175 was just as a barrier, right? That was to keep people out. I don't even believe half of those people paid to be there. Most of them were invited because a lot of those people were, you know, like I said, the heads of Williamsburg historical, like, you know, and the museum. There were heads of historical societies, head of Virginia historical, Department of History or whatever. They were people that were movers and shakers in history, right? For Virginia and probably beyond, right? So, you know, that's why it is important that we do these kind of things, that we make this a very important thing for us to do, to push the fact that you're not going to speak for us anymore, to let them know, you know, this is who we are. You're not going to cause it. To call me African American is genocide. Okay, they need to know that. Using that terminology about people from our history or ourselves today, you are committing genocide. It is not acceptable to call me by something that I am not. It's not acceptable for them to refer to anybody on the Eastern Shore in that way, because we know, because it's very clear. But it's not acceptable to call anyone that who knows who they are. But you got to do the work of knowing who you are, right? You got to do that. You got to do that. And then you got to correct. It's not just paper, it's pure genocide, because what you're doing is you're saying I don't exist. Not just paper genocide, it's genocide. You are writing me out of existence. You are making me not exist. I am invisible when you call me something that I'm not. I don't have a right to the things that are in my own heritage and in my own inheritance when you call me something that I'm not.
So what about when we call ourselves? Is that
they're committing genocide? They're committing suicide. They're committing suicide.
Because I've noticed they've gone back and trying to place African Americans for people who lived in the 1800s.
Right. They're calling all these people Harriet Tubman, whether she's real or not. Let's talk about even Frederick Douglass, calling him. We know that he was supposedly real. Well, he was supposed to be real. So, I mean, they call him African. Why are you calling these people something that they were not? And so this coming into this cipher with these people gave me the opportunity to have side conversations. People came up to me. There were a lot of people that were like, oh yeah, we appreciate you sharing that. That's what the majority of what that lady's comment was, the only comment like that. Even no one said that, not even the slave plantation, the plantation people that claim to live there now, claim to be the descendants. They didn't even say anything really untoward about anything I had to say or any history. One of the historical leaders questioned how I could say, because I did after this talk, after my sister filmed, I did also mention that, you know, these Europeans, you were not white, you were not Caucasian. I said that to the group. I said, you weren't the people that were here. They weren't Caucasian. They were not what you would call white. They were melanated Black Europeans. So I don't know what that has to do with your heritage, but that's the reality of the history here. And I said, and nobody, the only pushback I got on that was one of the historical leaders for the area said, well, what's your evidence of that? And I said, well, Carter G. Woodson has a list of free Negroes. And a lot of these names in this community are listed as being free Negroes, not Caucasian. So look at that. So, I mean, and then it also gave me the opportunity to talk to young leaders of other, you know, things like in Williamsburg. And they were like, well, what about, 1619? And, I was able to, because I had poster boards. They were showing these big poster boards that I had. And I had, our ACAMAC were holding up these poster boards at the front of the room. I had other ones too. So when they asked me about that, I was like, booyah, this is the information about, the governor of Virginia, who stated that clearly there were no Negro ships on these shores of America. If we get any Negroes, they be from Barbados. that kind of thing. So, I mean, we need to be able to speak to these people that are making an influence. And then the young girl, they had a little, melanated girl there with them, the token. And she said, well, we're doing this really good work on a school for African American. I said, don't you say African American. I said, don't you use that term. I said, because if it's in a historical school in our country, they were never called African American. African American is a recent misnomer. I said, do not say that, because you actually are annihilating them. They never called themselves that. They were never called that. Do not call them that. That's wrong. I said, that is genocide. Don't do it. I said, you want to refer to that school, you refer to it as it was called. If it was a colored school, call it a colored school. That's fine. If it was a Negro school, call it a Negro school, but don't make up a new name for it. That's ridiculous.
So you see, guys, this is how we got to talk. This is how we got to communicate with those people, because they know even less than you. And all they're doing is repeating stuff that they get from you.
Right. And they're repeating stuff that people are making up as they go along, like this book. So they go to these symposiums and these different things, and they get this new fictitious, fictionalized history that somebody writes up. And really, all these books, what is this book really for? Do y'all know what this book is really for? Henry Bagwell was an Indian who owned a lot of property. This is I'm keeping my bag book. It's not a Bagwell book. It's I'm keeping my bag book. These Caucasians want to keep that damn bag and that land. And this fictionalized history is writing them into existence, because they had no proof of why they are claiming to take the stuff that they're claiming. This is that fictionalized written documentation of them being the heirs. They are not heirs. They are not Indian. They are not him. He is not English, but they're turning him into an English person so that they can therefore claim to be him. That's how far they go. Most things that we read are actually written to steal from us. That's why when I tell these people that read from books that are written after 1800, I don't trust books written after 1800 at all. At all, because then the fix was in. They were trying to steal our land big time. And everything that they wrote was actually an effort to do so. I'm done with that.
Well, cool. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end, because it's been a day for me. So any last words, Lise?
I just want to urge everybody to, quit begging. We are too proud. We're not too proud to beg. There's no need to beg. Everything that belongs to us has been provided for. Everything that belongs to us is ready for the taking. But every day that you hesitate, every day that you're distracted by these people that are paid distractors, they're trying to erase and remove information, and they're trying to create information to block you from getting what's yours. So do not be distracted. Do not be misled. Stay focused and stay with your family.
Lisa, you have an event coming up, don't you? Could you tell us about it?
Yeah, I'm not really highly promoting it, only because I'm over it. I'm really I don't care if y'all come or not. Really, because I'm like this. At this point in time, what we're doing is so important. And, I feel like what we're doing is so real. If people are not aware of it, if they're too busy being distracted by other things, so be it. It is, we do have our Indigenous Summit. It is happening on October. I think the actual public thing is October 10th this year. Let me go ahead and look and make sure. Yes, October 10th on Indigenous Peoples Day. I'm not sure. It will be on the Eastern Shore in Northampton, Virginia. And I don't know what site I put down. I forget what site. I think I put down my actual great grandfather's land is where I put the site is gonna, the meetup site is gonna be. I think that's where I put, but that's fine. Wherever, you know, we will be meeting up. We will be going on tours. We will be looking at, you know, like the real history, and we will be, you know, communing and doing the things that we normally do during our summit. It's just going to be a little bit different. Our lectures are not going to be, we're not going to do lectures and panels like we did, because we'll be doing that on another day, and it'll be more focused on the ACAMAC. It's time for everybody to get real and get down and get things done with their nation. And my focus has to be more so on my nation. So on Monday, though, we are open to all Indigenous people, and you know, we share everything that we know with everybody who's willing to learn. That's how we do it. So, but you will have a real experience, because you will be able to see, you know, like the graveyards, you know, just, you know, the old tombstones, so a lot of different, you can see a lot of different things. You'll get a real close-up look at how genealogy works for real in 3D if you come to the summit, because we really do real things. And we usually do a little you know, target practice with our archerists, but we do a lot of different things. But you know, you are all welcome to come there. We have it's on Eventbrite. There is no charge. You're welcome to leave a donation, but you can but it is no charge to show up and you know, share the love. Come with the right frame of mind, and come with the love and peace in you, and we'll be all good with that.
Well, cool. Well, thanks. And I will be there. Also, if you can't be there, start one with your family where you're at. Indigenous Peoples Day, this is one of the times that we can hook up and get together and learn stuff, find out stuff about our family, and like she said, find out stuff about the kin that grew up with your family.
Mm-hmm.
So these are,
you don't want to include everybody. That's right.
Include everybody. And you know, talk to your people, do some genealogy on yourself, and it'll blow you away what you learn.
Like, what I want to tell you is most of my riders are not my family. Like, well, no, my main rider, my sister Penny, I ain't gonna say that. My sister Penny, Sharon, Deborah, all my sisters, and my, you know, and even now, my kids were not on board at first. Now they are coming on board, because they thought mama was crazy, right? But the real is, like, a lot of your cousins, first cousins, they may not all be on board. Like my family supported me because it was me initially, like, cause it's like cousin, you know what I mean? But the reality, they didn't understand, and they really don't necessarily get it, and they're not really riders. Your real riders are gonna come from people that you don't know. People that when you reach out, you form a group, you form a website, you form a Facebook group, and you start reaching out to people. When you research and know the surnames of the people that were in your counties that your people are from, that's when you start reaching out to these strangers, that's where your riders come. That's where you get people that are like into it and motivated to really just do the work, you know, that aren't your first cousins, second cousins. They're like way distant. They're like not even, some of them may not even be related, because within a tribe, there were people that you had to marry, right? So there are people that are not really related to you. You may be connected in that I got a cousin that's a same person that you have a cousin to, but we are not related. See, so these are strangers that are actual kinfolk that are members of your nation. Those are where you're going to find the people that have like minds, that are motivated, that are going to be willing to do the work. So when people say, ain't nobody in my family about it, when you start to do the work, the people will come. But you have to start the work. You have to start repatriation. You have to get your nation alive. You have to reawaken your nation, and then go look for the people that belong to it. All those people that belong to your nation are not just your cousins. They're people you don't know. They're strangers, but they are members of your nation. And that's where you're going to get the support. So don't be hesitant because of your family. That shouldn't be a stop for you. That should just be like, oh, okay, that's natural. Lisa said That's just not very rare to have that many family members that's on board. But you're going to find that the strangers that are connected to you via your nation are going to be the people that's going to be your support.
Get with the family, y'all. Do that genealogy. Get that genealogy on and popping. You'll be glad you did. We're going to end it for tonight. Get over to aana.com. Check out what we have. Support us, because we're out here trying to wake us up and support us. We'll see you guys later on in the week. Peace.